So this guy just dropped a nuke of a video a few months ago, resulting in a $500,000 lawsuit being filed against 3 streamers. And it even sparked a huge debate all over the internet on why these streamers are being targeted in particular. In this video, we're gonna break down the details of Ethan's monster lawsuit, what made him do it, and why this could change YouTube forever. Ethan Klein is suing 3 streamers for reacting to his recent content nuke video targeting HasanAbi, and the whole internet's asking, what happened to the guy who was pro fair use?
I am opening our IP to the world. This is a message with peace and love.
So, despite this stance, he dropped a 2-hour video and sued streamers when they, well, reacted to it. And all this when you apparently opened your IP to the world? Now, I gotta say, that's a little bit confusing. And it's gotta have you wondering if this was all about protecting the content, which would be a tad bit inconsistent, or if he's just setting the stage to win a lawsuit and trying to send a message. Now, let's dive into the plot. First things first, before the video even went live, Ethan Klein had already set the bait. It's like he was playing chess in real life. Get this, he pre-registered the entire content nuke video, a move that lets him sue for statutory damages. And then he waited. Listen to Ethan break down exactly how he made his master plan.
What to say about it, but here's the Certinox thing I saw from it.
That I formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published.
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was set, and it worked even.
According to Ethan himself, he knew they'd watch it with no commentary, basically admitting this was the plan the whole time. How does this impact the creativity of content creators and fair use? I mean, we already have creators giving out lawsuits like candy, but now we've got them potentially planting material just to sue? Oh, and before you thought that was all, it even gets more diabolical. But before I get into the next clip, there's another important character in this whole story. HasanAbi's a political streamer with a huge online presence. He grew his audience by breaking down world politics, reacting to cringe clips online, and a whole lot of political sparring matches. But funny enough, him and Ethan used to actually work together. But now that's a story for another day. Now let's just say with this most recent content nuke video, they're not as close anymore. But you're basically caught up, so let's move on. Here's where it gets a little murkier than a dirty lake, because Hasan said Ethan personally messaged him mid-charity stream begging him to react to this video. Listen to exactly how the story unfolded here.
The trap was set, and it worked even.
Yeah, except I didn't do any of those things, which I feel like is a major failure of a trap. He begged me to watch it for months. He cried on camera that I just refused to watch it. And then I even told him I'd watch it alongside him if necessary. Your prediction on this one, even as a joke, on the money as usual. I even suspected that he might do some nonsensical bullshit like this. And then I ended up watching it months later to fundraise, and it's a 8-hour reaction for even half of the content nuke. So I guess that kind of failed. So now he's just going after people who he perceives as defenseless, smaller content creators that he can possibly litigate to try to secure a litigation victory after he got a shit pushed in by a billionaire that he defamed, Brian Kavanaugh. And so now he's just like desperate to get a win somewhere.
So I guess this confirms it. Ethan admitted to creating content for streamers to react to, anticipating that they wouldn't add much to the stream. But also, on top of that, HasanAbi claims that Ethan actually tried to get him to react to the video as well, which, by the way, would have potentially been traveling in the direction of entrapment. You can't just make a trap hoping someone will bite. This isn't fishing. And well, there's even another interesting theory where people think Ethan might just be trying to get even after his loss with Brian Kavanaugh as well. This guy's treating lawsuits like he's in a boxing match or something. And on top of that, is there more to the story in terms of who he targeted with this lawsuit? The real question is, why these 3 streamers? Out of all the people who watched Ethan's video, these are the only ones named in this $500,000 lawsuit. Well, let's break down what each one allegedly did and exactly why it matters. First up is Frogan, I'm gonna call him Frogan, a Twitch streamer best known for political commentary and her close ties to HasanAbi. Apparently, she streamed nearly the entire content nuke video while saying almost nothing during the stream. She had so much insight to give that at times she even left her chair. And after the lawsuit hit, well, she wiped all her Twitch content, which isn't suspicious at all. And then we've got Denims, an edgy Twitch streamer who is known for political debates and, well, having super strong opinions. Well, Denims allegedly told viewers not to give Ethan the views, and whether the cause was justified or not, the law usually doesn't treat such obvious sabotage attempts very kindly, especially when the methods being used aren't exactly legal and are being literally recorded. And finally, Kaceytron, a streamer with a huge following known as one of the OGs on the platform, with over 10 years of streaming experience. But despite all that experience, she apparently had nothing to say. And she did a lot more smoking than talking. And following Frogan's lead, she tried to give people a way to watch the video without supporting Ethan. Again, not really the best idea to state this on a recorded stream. And so those are basically the 3 complaints that were filed against these streamers by Ethan. That's why he picked them. And they might just turn into a $500,000 payday. But there's a really weird backstory to all this that I think we should take a quick look at. In 2017, Ethan Klein was the hero of fair use. He would defend creators against bogus copyright claims all the time, but now in 2025, he's suing smaller streamers for reacting to his own content. Make that make sense. The same guy who once said our IP is open to the world,
I am opening our IP to the world,
is now sending legal takedowns. Ouch. But to understand the backlash, you have to understand the politics behind it too. Ethan is Israeli American and his wife Hila literally served in the Israeli Defense Forces. So he's a little bit pressured to support Israel in the Israel-Palestine conflict here, let's be honest. Some people are saying it's not just about copyright, but that it's about setting personal scores. Let's look at the facts. Denims and Frogan obviously aren't the biggest fans of Ethan and are also pro-Palestine. And Kaceytron, well, she was indulging in some special lettuce while actively taking views away from Ethan. So I doubt she liked him very much. Now the 3 are being sued, and given the fact that this was planned, that Ethan is pro-Israel by default, that he apparently opened up his IP, and that they were taking money from him, this definitely smells like a personal vendetta. Now obviously, Ethan's legal team says that's not true, and there is an argument that these reactions were literal sabotage attempts, but you can't help but think that the story contains a little more than meets the eye. Okay. Let's talk about the elephant in the courtroom. Did these streamers actually break copyright law, or is this just a gray area being dragged into court? Well, the whole case hinges on fair use, which is a legal defense that lets you use someone else's content without permission, if you meet certain conditions. I'm going to talk about the most important ones to this case. Number 1. Did they add real commentary, analysis, or criticism, or was it just a restream? And 2, was there an impact on Ethan's viewership? Some clips, like Frogan's, show long stretches where she's not even at her keyboard. And on top of that, these streamers admitted, while on stream, to deliberately trying to steal views from Ethan. Now, the other factor is how much did they actually use? Did they show just a few short clips, or did they literally put the whole thing in there? Listen to this quick breakdown by Tony Guo, a patent lawyer who's a little bit more qualified than me to speak on this topic.
There were many other Twitch streamers who also stole Ethan's content. And like Ethan said, he could sue them, but Ethan doesn't believe they were acting maliciously. He believes these 3 individuals, regardless of race or gender, was acting maliciously, trying to siphon views and even make money, right? They were promoting their own, hey, throw me a Amazon Prime. They played Ethan's entire video.
Now, as we know, they did try to siphon views, but they also played the whole video as well. I mean, I don't really want to pick sides here, but guys, you gotta admit, that's a little bit crazy. So now the question is this lawsuit gonna hold up? Well, fair use isn't always black and white. Judges don't just hit a few buttons in a calculator. They obviously need to look at the context. But when you watch these streams, it's hard to deny that they weren't pushing it. Maybe even inviting the lawsuit? Even though Ethan did completely go against his word with his IP being free to use. So now, as you can imagine, the community is obviously pretty divided here. Some people defend Ethan and his right to protect his intellectual property, while others say that it's less about copyright and more about control. And then Frogan did the one thing you definitely don't want to do mid-lawsuit. As we said earlier, she literally deleted all of her Twitch videos. But here's the kicker. Nothing's ever really gone on the internet now, is it? Deleting content when you're named in a lawsuit? That's what lawyers call spoilage of evidence. And even if those streams are backed up somewhere, deleting them yourself still looks super sus. So what happens if Ethan actually wins this thing? Well, you might want to buckle up because it could open the door for more big creators to make lawsuits rain like your favorite rapper. Watch parties? Gone. Passive reacts? Better start talking fast or get a lawyer, because if he loses, it basically gives streamers the green light to keep doing what they're doing, even if it's 90% silence and snacks. And the word fair use would be as stretched as it's ever been. And now let's be honest, commentary might get even lazier, but underneath all of this is an even bigger question. Is this really about protecting your content or just shutting up the people who talk back? So what do you think? Ethan Klein, copyright crusader, or a control freak with a copyright form? And click here to find out how this Love Island star got kicked off the show for some unsavory remarks.